Good morning and welcome to the frozen tundra that we call New Hampshire, which is 14 degrees outside right now, quite cold. I hope everyone had a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, and of course if you're watching this in 2026, a Happy New Year. Anyways, today we have the 2025 Nissan Rogue base model here, which is powered by a 1.5 liter turbo 3-cylinder making 201 horsepower. Paired to that is also a CVT transmission, and honestly the only reason why I'm driving this car is because we decided to take this thing down to South Carolina to visit some family. So I've put about 2,000 miles on this base model Nissan Rogue. Over the course of that trip, this car actually did change my mind on one thing: that CVTs aren't all that bad. They can be tuned to be good. And this one isn't by any means a fantastic transmission, but it's smooth, it's fairly capable in terms of kind of keeping this car in its power band, and honestly, you almost feel like it's not there most of the time. It is a little groggy at low speeds, especially when you're kind of in some stop and go traffic. It'll kind of skip forward a little bit, but other than that, I mean, this thing is definitely the best CVT I've driven. And that includes products from companies like Hyundai, Kia, Subaru, Honda. This is honestly just like the best CVT I've driven. And the reason why Nissan does these CVTs is because they're inexpensive and they're also very fuel economic. And this thing is very much capable of 30 plus mpgs. Some parts of our drive we're getting 35, some parts we're getting in the high 20s. I would say on average we're probably getting about 32 miles per gallon on our trip. And on the way back, we also encountered quite a snowstorm. And in that snowstorm, the all-wheel drive system proved to be capable. These all-season tires held their own, and this thing kept us safe driving through the Poconos, the Chicopee Reserve, I think it was called, and some other mountainous back roads. So let's talk about the exterior styling. Honestly, I will just say that I don't like it, right? This dual headlight setup that a lot of companies are going with. I mean, key offenders of this would be like the Hyundai Kona, for instance, and there are many others, but I just don't think it looks any good. And honestly, I think the rear end of this car is not bad looking, but the front end definitely needs some work. And of course, you're looking at this thing and it's frozen to the gills. We have some very cold weather, as I mentioned before, and this car, we just took it through in a snow/ice storm, so it's all frozen up at the moment, so apologies for its appearance. But regardless, looks are all subjective. Some people might really like how this thing looks. Some people, like me, will agree that it needs some work, needs some help. Nissan needs someone to be designing their cars to look more appealing and appeal to the modern market. And I think, Hyundai and Kia did such a good job at that Hyundai is the second largest automotive brand in the world. And really that just happened in the last 5 or 6 years, where their sales have just kind of gone through the roof. And I think Nissan could be saved as well. But with this Rogue, it might not be appealing to me on the exterior, but interior is not bad. We have high quality leather wrapping on this steering wheel and on our shifter. The top of the dashboard isn't, it's just kind of this cheap plastic, but you're not really you're not touching it too much, and as far as appearance, it looks fine. We do have this large infotainment stack and touchscreen. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are wired on this Nissan Rogue. We don't have wireless Apple CarPlay, so definitely bring a USB-C cord. They have switched over from the USB-A's. Dual climate up here in the front. The back seats are fairly spacious, and one thing I will say about this Rogue is it has lots of trunk space. This thing, because of its raised roof in the back, it honestly really does have tons and tons of space for a mid-size SUV. And then on this wheel, we do have paddle shifters. I don't see the point in including them with a CVT transmission. As far as the buttons on the steering wheel though, we have our volume control on the left-hand side. We also have the ability to skip track. We have a little digital part of our gauge cluster, which you can control with these arrows here. And then on the right hand side is our adaptive cruise control, which works pretty well. One main criticism I do have for this Nissan Rogue is the engine sound. It's just like very unrefined. It sounds horrible. Honestly, they probably could have given this thing more of like an exhaust note in the back, or maybe added some additional sound deadening up front. I mean, that would also increase the price, of course, but you just make this thing sound a little more refined, a little more expensive. Next thing I want to talk about is drive modes. We have 3 in here, and it's controlled by this D mode button down here. So first we have Sport, we have Standard, and we have Eco. I've found in Eco mode, the only thing this really does is decrease your throttle response, as you're not really, you know, the transmission doesn't have any sort of job of kind of keeping you in a lower gear per se. So if like you're just kind of driving along and you switch from Standard to Eco, nothing's going to happen. It's really just kind of making sure that, you know, the CVT is keeping you in low RPMs as long as possible, and of course decreasing your throttle response, so making it so you're driving less aggressively, you're using less throttle, which then saves on gas money. So personally, I feel like the best thing to do is just keep this thing in Standard. Putting it in Sport keeps you in higher RPMs and just kind of sounds awful. I don't imagine anyone doing any sort of sporty driving in their Nissan Rogue anyways, so I would say it's just best to keep this thing in Standard. Forget you even have a drive mode button. As far as other driving impressions, the steering's pretty good for a mid-size SUV. There's not much play in terms of like from center, so I feel like that's a positive. Of course, it's electronic steering and you're going to kind of have like a little bit of a delay in the inputs, but you can tell where your tires are pointed. And I mean, getting around with this Rogue is no problem at all. Parking it's no problem at all because it's just not a large vehicle. I really do feel like the mid-size SUV market is the best place to be in terms of having enough room for 5 people while also not being this gigantic glob on the road that is incredibly hard to park, incredibly hard to maneuver in parking lots and tight roads. This thing is just really capable. And then we also have good visibility with these side mirrors. We have blind spot monitoring and decent vision out our rear view. Those C-pillars are quite big, but you do have this like additional window which helps take away from that blind spot quite a bit. And then backup camera, I can't show it at this very second, but it's basically just, you know, rear view. You have some parking sensors back there too, so it'll start beeping when you get close to things. And then there's like a rear cross traffic alert system as well. There's no 360 view, which I wish this thing had, but at this price point, you're just not gonna get it. Regarding these seats, they're just a standard cloth, and we have electronic adjustments for the driver, but not our right-hand passenger here. I do wish it had electronic adjustments for them, but again, price point, I'm not gonna keep saying it. The seats are fairly comfortable. They're plush enough to kind of keep you comfy on a long drive. You know, we were doing like 4 to 5 hour stints at a time, and coming home due to that snowstorm, I drove this car for 23.5 hours. A drive that would normally take you 16.5 with some stops going from South Carolina to New Hampshire took me 23.5 hours. We did stop overnight. We got to the point where we just like couldn't drive in the snow anymore. You know, it was building up fast and they weren't really kind of treating the roads as much as they should be. I know it's hard to keep up, and I don't think they really anticipated that type of snowfall, and so we just decided to call it a night around 11:30 and began our journey back to New Hampshire at 5 a.m. the next morning. And spoiler alert, it was still snowing. But like I said before, this all-wheel drive system's good. I would say that if you are planning on driving this thing, no matter what the weather conditions are, I would get some snow tires for it. I just think it would be a much more capable vehicle with some snow tires. There was definitely a lot more traffic moving quicker than we were in those harsh conditions, and you know, I'm just attributing that to better tires, to be honest. I mean, I feel like I have a good sense of like when I have traction and when I don't. And honestly, like, if I pushed the car any more than I did feel like it was going to be, you know, unsafe. And, you know, I don't want to destroy a car that's not mine either. I want to keep my family safe. You know the drill. With that being said, the one area where I feel like this Rogue could do a bit better, and, you know, they're not the only ones that have this problem too, is legroom for the driver. So this infotainment stack really cuts into my legroom, and it's really annoying. Like, I feel like this too, like this, you know, this panel for your buttons, such as like your mirror adjustments and your windows, it just gets in the way of your legroom. And on long road trips, I feel like I really couldn't stretch or spread out enough without kind of getting out of the car and doing a good stretch and getting back in. Whereas with my Mach-E, I just have so much ample legroom. And so I just wish they kind of cut down on this infotainment stack here. I think the reason why it's so wide is not only because of that firewall, but also because of, you know, the fact that they decided to squeeze in a wireless charger here, and the fact that there's just so much stuff going on. You got your cup holders, you got all these buttons, and your gear selectors. So if they decided to kind of thin this part out right here, or maybe kind of move the panel here that controls your window adjustments and stuff, like up here like Range Rover does, I think you would get a lot more legroom and make this mid-size SUV feel a lot bigger in this front seat. But with that being said, this Rogue still lets you get comfortable with the electronic adjustments on the seat. Cloth seats are not bad, especially in the summertime. You don't have the leather that's gonna burn your butt. I feel like if you're, you know, not eating too much in your car where you're gonna stain your seats, I feel like cloth is always kind of the way to go. But I feel like value for the money with the CVT, the 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbo engine, and of course the amenities you get inside this Nissan Rogue, it's actually a fairly good deal. With that being said, I did really enjoy my time driving this Nissan Rogue. I honestly didn't think I would. I'm not a huge fan of CVTs, as I've said many times on this channel, but this thing is fairly refined for the money. It's comfortable, it has a good ride, it was good in the snow too with all-wheel drive, and I just think that they're worth a consideration for your next mid-size SUV buy. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you again soon.